Welcome, ladies, gents, and otherwise amazing people, to another episode of the Coolest Guys You Know podcast. I'm the guy with the beard and glasses, Alex Bagley, and alongside me is my co-host, the guy with the mustache, Jack Hefflinger.
How we doing?
And today, Jack, we have quite the challenge.
Yes.
This might be the most ambitious episode yet.
Oh, yeah.
Which is saying something. We've done some pretty ambitious things.
We have, but this is, this is going to kind of suck, maybe, but it's going to be really fun, actually.
No, I'm excited, but also, like,
I'm dreading, like, right around here.
Yeah. So we are doing the Hot Ones Challenge. I've always wanted to do this, even though I'm not a hot sauce guy at all. But I thought if I was going to do it, I wanted the full Hot Ones experience. I wanted to have questions running alongside it. Because they always make it seem like it's kind of like almost a euphoric, like deep dive type experience. Not just, I ate spicy wings.
Yeah, it's like the wings kind of open you up.
Yeah. So we have 10 questions, a question for each wing. We went with some pretty serious questions, some pretty deep questions.
We did.
The first one's kind of a softball, somewhat funny question. You know, we can take that direction. But this might not be as fully humorous as normal, but also, like, we're just funny people anyways. Yeah. So, we're going to take turns reading off the questions, but we're both going to answer the questions. And, anything you want to get? How are you feeling about this? Do you think that you're going to do well, or
I think I'm going to do pretty well.
You think you're going to handle it?
Yeah. I think the bomb, like, I don't think anybody can really handle that well.
Yeah. At least you can admit that.
Yeah. What? What does that mean?
All right. I'm not sure at all. Like, I don't eat hot sauce at all. There's some that everybody always makes look good in the videos and stuff.
Right.
By the way, this is obviously not sponsored by Hot Ones or Heatonist or any of the brands of hot sauce that we have today. Though we will definitely be talking about the ones that we like if we like them. I already know that the first one seems like it's a pretty good one from everybody's reactions and stuff. But all right.
I'm hungry. Let's get some wings.
Yeah, I actually am hungry. All right, let's start with the first one, and then we'll do the question afterwards. We'll do it that way. So, all right. So we got the classic hot sauce here.
What is it? Chili maple.
All right. The wings are so cold.
Are really cold.
Setup took us so long. We were also dying. From just the smell of the wings.
The smell was like so many sneezes and coughs.
But yeah, this is damn good sauce.
Yes.
Not really spicy. You know, just a little bit of a tingle. But yeah, no, really good. Not surprised at all by that.
No.
I don't know why I was like afraid to use my second hand.
I'm one-handing, I think, the whole thing.
Yeah, I am finishing this wing. You want to read the question?
So our first question here is, what do you think is more likely, a alien apocalypse or a zombie apocalypse? And do you want to take this one or you want me to first?
I can take it first. Funny thing about this question is I came up with it because a girl I went on a date with asked me this on the date, and it was like out of nowhere.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good question.
I thought it was so funny. I was like, why would you ask? And she's like, I just think the answer tells a lot about people.
Huh. Okay.
I was like, all right.
So a different gauge for people.
Yep. So my answer to that question then and now is that I think that an alien apocalypse is more likely.
I would agree.
Because most science says that zombie. Though, you know what? I had not seen Last of Us.
Yeah, the Last of Us fungus, like
that is scientifically like feasible, but up to that point, all I knew was that scientifically there wasn't really a very good possibility of a zombie apocalypse ever occurring. That was almost impossible for something like that. So I said alien apocalypse because I definitely do think there are aliens. So
I definitely think there's life out there. It is definitely more likely that we would be discovered by aliens and fallout would happen rather than like, hey, there's zombies now.
So you agree with me on that one?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, a nice little easy one to ease us in.
Good little softball.
All right.
know?
We ready to go into sauce 2?
Yeah. The Tropicante.
Yeah.
This is the one I was kind of excited for.
I will say, a little bit of a lingering from that one. So, at least for me.
Oh, I'm
like
not getting too much.
I mean, just...
I can feel it in my stomach.
I don't feel anything in my stomach. My stomach's just kind of like, ooh, food, good. It's just mostly because I'm not used to having, like, much of any spice. So, just the feeling of spice.
I enjoy hot foods. So.
Yeah. All right. So, we're ready for the seconds.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I'm digging that one. And so our next question is, what's the happiest moment of your life?
Yeah.
So I can take this one first. I would say, I don't know if I have a specific moment that I could pinpoint as like, that's the happiest I've ever been.
That's a very tough question.
I think it's more like moments, like when I'm spending time with my friends who I don't get to see too often. Like I'm always very happy to see them and I always just have a great time. Or, you know, when you have a special occasion, like, you know, like a Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner with your family. Like those are generally the happiest times, I think, of your life.
Could you think of like like maybe it's not the happiest, but like a specific moment that you can remember?
Like lighting off fireworks on 4th of July with my friends. Like just running up, lighting those, like running away and watching the fireworks go off.
Blow up a hand.
Yeah, blow up a hand. Like I love that. It's so much fun.
It was the funniest, happiest moment of my life.
Happiest moment of my life when my friend lost his hand.
All right. I don't know. Similar answer. I mean, anytime you're spending with, I feel like, I mean, I've had very happy moments in my own, but definitely anytime you're spending with friends and family are usually going to be some of your happier moments in life. The story that's like clicking to me recently was when I went with my family to my mom, my dad, my sister and brother, and then my sister's fiance. We went goofy golfing. And it was a great time. Like we were being super competitive and just having a ball. And then we did the goofy golf part. And we got to this one part of where there was a bridge and there was a little bit of water underneath. And my sister's fiance and my brother got ahead of us and they found a dollar bill down in the water. And, you know, they're like, oh, look, there's a dollar bill down there. And I was like, oh, no. And I like go up and look and I look at my brother and I'm like, I'm going to get that dollar bill. He's like, no, I'm going to get that dollar bill. So we both get down into this water. And of course, it's got a do not cross and it's like super steep. Doesn't look that bad at first. And then once you start getting down.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So we're like both sitting there, like slowly getting down closer, like reaching our putters in. And I was still able to keep my balance at that point. But I didn't realize how much more slippery it got the further you went. And my brother was getting further down and all of a sudden he's like, oh, help. And I'm like, what's going on? So he's like grabbing towards me. So I like grab him, but then like, I don't know what to do. Like if he needs help climbing up or what's going on. And he just falls straight into the water. And as he falls in, they're all across the park. There's just this one little kid, the only other witness outside of my family, sees it and he's like, oh my God, he fell in and goes running off to like tell his family or something. And yeah, we had to like get down and help my brother out. And then his phone was still in the water and his keys. And so I had to go in and grab them. And then while I was down there, you know, I grabbed the dollar bill and then I was like, here you go, you can have it. You know, my treat for the incident.
Right.
But yeah, that was great. Great time.
That's fantastic.
All right. Ready for wing number 3.
Number 3, which is the Pico Rico.
Yeah. Pico peppers. Micro
saucery.
Micro saucery.
I kind of feel the heat around my lips from that last one.
These two were very good.
Yes.
The heat kicks in more after. Mm-hmm. It kind of lingers. But all right, let's get this one. I wonder how many I'm going to clean the wing on. I already tell you I'm not a huge fan of this sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more I'm going to eat. I don't know. I can still eat it. It's just not the greatest. All right. So, third question. Do you believe in ghosts or the paranormal?
So I do not believe in ghosts, paranormal stuff. I've never lived anywhere or been anywhere where they've said it's like supposed to be haunted either, but I've never seen any sort of evidence of ghosts or the paranormal or just anything weird ever happening like that.
And you're a very see it to believe it type person.
Very much, yeah. Because it's one of those things where it's like, so like it could very much not be real. So if I have no experience, there's no way I could ever believe in it.
Fair enough.
Because I also don't really believe in like afterlife or anything like that. I think you're just dead when you're dead.
Yeah, so ghosts wouldn't really make sense
Right.
for you.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you?
Yeah, I don't really know. Necessarily as a kid, I was definitely scared of ghosts and the paranormal. I'm not sure. Even if it is real, I don't think it takes the form that a lot of people do, like think it does and stuff. I mean, I've already talked to you before about like, the idea of it being very physical, like physics oriented in terms of there's a potential of it being like fourth dimension, like shadowing into the third dimension, but that's, weighty scientific
Carl
stuff.
Sagan.
Yeah. Which Carl Sagan didn't specifically say that. I took his ideas about the third dimension and impacting the second dimension. So if you like draw on a piece of paper, you have a little house and a little figure, and that's the second dimension. You take like a cup and you put the cup on top of that piece of paper. The whole cup is not in the second dimension, but the bottom of the cup acts as like a shadow in the second dimension. It wouldn't be like a part of the second dimension.
Like they wouldn't be able to actually see the cup.
Yeah. It would be like, it'd just be weird, like they wouldn't be able to, like if they could move, they wouldn't be able to go through it because, there's another element to it that they can't get past and stuff. And so the same thing could kind of be true with the fourth dimension, and the barrier between the third and fourth dimension is time. And a lot of ghosts are about the past impacting the present. So that could be like a theory that it's just like a shadow of time impacting the now. It's not necessarily that it's a spirit of a person necessarily in the way that a lot of people think. It's just more like it's kind of like a deja vu almost type thing.
Okay.
Like it's just happening.
Right.
Like it's a bleed of time. Like the barrier was broken somehow or something like that.
Which is a really interesting way to look at that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool and stuff, and I like to think about that type of stuff. At the most, or at the least, I don't know. But I don't know which way. But like almost like energies, somewhat. Like not necessarily. I don't know. It's so ethereal to think about and stuff. Like poltergeist type stuff was kind of what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Like there's always been the idea that it could potentially be like unknown psychic powers for people, like things that they don't know that they can control, that we haven't been able to prove that they can control yet, at least not publicly. Yeah, this gets into a lot of, this is very much opinion type stuff, and I respect the idea of...
Which almost everything is really kind of opinion.
Yeah. I respect the idea of see it to believe it, but that's not me as a person. I don't think everything you see is all that is, and just because, you are just wondering about something and it doesn't really necessarily have to be true doesn't mean that you can't wonder about it or even believe in it.
Right.
But yeah. Wow. Third question really hammering in there.
I know.
Let's go to number 4. Just wanted that sauce was not that great. I did not like that sauce.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Least favorite so far.
Now
But next up,
Los Calientes.
Los Calientes.
Barbacoa.
Barbacoa. And I like this question a lot, so I'm going to ask you after we take our bite here.
Ooh.
I liked like the initial kit, but then like the heat, like the spice I don't really like, but I like the kind of like barbecue-y
I like that.
flavor. But what do you think of humanity? What are your opinions on humans? And of course, it's going to be very general.
Right. I don't know. I think we're heading into interesting times here. I think that, especially like our generation's coming up. I don't know if you're technically Gen Z.
I'm older. Older
But
Gen Z.
yeah, our Gen Z. I don't know. We have some good things that like we tend to just kind of like everybody, and we don't really care about some of the weird societal things that have been in the past. But we also like very addicted to the technology and getting into the AI stuff, and which I don't think AI is as big of a problem as people make it to be. But I think just where we're heading is probably not going to be great as we get further and further.
Yeah, we don't really know the effects of technology on the brain.
No.
We're kind of catching up science-wise.
We're very divisive still. I think like even our generation is still very just like shout at each other. There isn't a lot of like just general like, hey, we can talk and just have little fun discourse or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like we've kind of, I don't know, because my opinions on humanity are that we haven't changed as much as we think we have changed. It's just our circumstances that have changed. I think people are generally pretty similar no matter what generation they are. I mean, there's some differences and stuff and opinions and all that. But I think it's more trends of the time than it is trends in humanity.
Yeah, we're more impacted by just what we...
what's around us and stuff. And I'm also not the type... I'm not a very pessimistic person. So I think people are generally, well-to-do in terms of what their intentions are.
Yes.
At least from their viewpoint. But, it's influenced by so many different things, and most people don't know how to sort through those things.
Right. And it gets harder with the further we go with technology, trying to find...
Yeah. It's losing the human connection is what technology is really doing. And without that, it gets tougher to communicate with people. And without being able to communicate to people, you're not able to root out the bad ideas as easily. They take root a little bit more, and they're harder to, take care of. Like somebody has a belief and they get more rooted in it because they don't have that human connection with somebody who might have an opposing belief. And the technology also provides the ability to create your own circumstances and environments more easily. So you can surround yourself with like-minded people and just completely avoid any other opinion. Which is a big reason why I don't really do social media as much anymore outside of promoting things.
Right.
Or just keeping up with family, like letting them know what's going on or checking in on them. But I still think that overall humanity is exactly what it's supposed to be. We're doing exactly what we're supposed to be, and we're going to go where we're exactly where we're supposed to be.
Right.
I think the idea that we're going to end the world and we need to stop it type thing, which, we should always try not to end the world. But at the same time, it's going to happen eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Even if we leave the planet and go somewhere else, eventually humans are going to die. Everything dies. So, yeah.
I think it's I read somewhere, I think it was 90% of the known species have all gone extinct. And we're just because there's just been so many ages of extinction and everything.
And that's just on Earth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. All right. Ready for Wing 5 here?
Wing 5.
What is this sauce?
Is this the
Szechuan
Gold?
Okay, Szechuan Gold. What does that say? Fly
by Jing.
Fly by Jing. All right.
Bit of an oilier sauce.
Hey, we're doing pretty good here so far.
Really good.
I mean, this is only Wing 5, so. This was the one where the look of it I did not like. It looks like a chemical.
Also, the smell smelled like nothing, and it kind of tastes like nothing.
Yeah. It like you said, it's just oil.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Hearing some nice ASMR mukbang sounds here. I know I've kind of started the trend of clearing the bone. This one does have some heat to it. I can feel it in the back of my throat.
See, I didn't really get much heat with that.
You think it got so bad that we just start having like visions? We just start having this out of body experience.
I have a relative back in my past who wrote a lot of stuff about out of body experiences.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
He sounded a little like an interesting guy.
I would say, knowing you, I don't think you.
Well, he's also like, he was like a few generations back.
Oh, okay. So you didn't know him personally?
No.
Okay. What if we see God today, Jack?
What if we die?
No. We just see God.
Oh, okay.
Are you prepared?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm pulling a Sean. I see you doing it, so now I'll do it. Oh, you said it wasn't that hot there. Yeah.
I'm just kind of thirsty.
I was thirsty earlier, but I was like, no, we don't drink. We don't drink this early. Okay. 5th question. What do you enjoy most in life? I did not.
Is that what
sorry,
it is? Or
no.
is it? You kept reading it. I was like, that's not what this says.
It's because I just immediately said, when, what? And then I was like, none of this sentence makes sense. Okay. It's when do you enjoy life most? Very different question.
Yes.
All right.
I feel like that kind of goes back to happiest moments.
It's very similar.
It's like, I always enjoy life when you're with friends or family, just people you love, like once again, like you're just having like sitting on the back deck and you're just by a fire or something and just talking, having a drink. Like those are the best moments. Those are when you're just.
I just thought of another moment that was pretty happy for me. And that was the time that some friends and I went to Columbus and we were visiting one of our other friends. Hopefully that's not confusing to follow at all.
Yeah.
But anyways, and she ended up leaving us in our apartment, her and our other friend. So it was just me and my 2 guy friends. And we had been drinking a little bit and we started playing cards and it was very hot in the apartment because the AC wasn't working. So we went out to the balcony and we had gotten cigars and we were sitting there smoking cigars, drinking, playing Go Fish. It wasn't even anything intense. And it was just so chill and relaxed. We had music playing and stuff. It was great time.
Those are the great moments of life. Those are when you enjoy life the most.
I think it's the moments that you're not necessarily looking for typically. Like sometimes you can get like a plan and then like, it ends up working out. But if you try to plan things too rigidly, I feel like most of the time you don't enjoy it because you're trying to force it.
Right.
It's when, things just kind of naturally develop and you're like, oh, hey, this is kind of fun.
Like vacations, like if you plan a vacation too hard, you miss out on those like spontaneous, like, oh, we should go here. This looks like a really fun spot or whatever.
And you also get super angry when like, like the plane was delayed or,
right.
The taxi took too long or the place was closed and stuff. Instead of enjoying what you have, you end up just being upset because you didn't get what you wanted.
Right.
Also, anytime I'm creating is usually enjoyable to me as long as I'm not trying to force anything like writing or coloring or anything, or watching a movie. Watching a movie is always
absolutely
a great time.
Yes.
So, all right, we ready for number 6?
Number 6,
which is
this is the turmeric bomb.
Okay, I can't tell what the names are on the bottles, like because they have all those different.
This is the one that like wrinkled the wings, like the wings were like, no, I can't do this.
It really discolored this wing.
Yeah.
It looks like battery acid almost. So,
hey,
all right.
Cheers.
That is a very odd taste comparative to everything else.
Yeah.
This has some heat. We number 6? Okay. All right. It's about to kick up from here.
Oh my God, it's really about to kick up. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was a big jump, 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Which is also,
Woo! Dang. I wish I didn't eat as much as I did right there.
yeah, I'm not eating the rest of that. Which is also how I felt about the period simulator. The jump from 5 to 6. All right, you want to ask the question?
Yeah. What's something you wish more people knew about you?
All right. All right, something I wish more people knew about me. I don't know. Ooh, if I focus on it too much, it gets worse. All right. I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty open person. Especially now. I didn't used to be. Like I used to. One of the things I used to think was that people didn't know how much I thought and like pondered on things and how much of a deep thinker I was. I feel like I talk about it so much now to people that people do generally get that sense about me. Mm-hmm. Apparently, people just think like the way that I talk sounds like very thoughtful. I guess I don't necessarily think that. When people tell me that, I'm like, I just talk normally. I don't really talk about. Yeah. So that used to be something. Now, I don't know. I guess that I'm kind of a pretty spiritual person in some essence. I definitely think more about like the deeper, mysterious parts of life. I like having some mystery in my life and thinking that there's a higher being. Yeah. So, what about you?
Boy, I do feel like people tend to think I'm like very asshole. Like I think that comes off.
I think that sometimes happens to me too.
Like, man, this guy's just a fucking dick. Like, I feel like as people get to know me, they understand that like
it's all a joke.
It's just like I'm just such a joking person that like I'm not even like I'm so not outgoing normally. I'm such a quiet person when I'm like just with friends or family.
That's something I used to be like too.
Yeah, I'm just like, but yeah, I kind of like. I think people just like this guy's an asshole. Like, or also I come off it like I like to play as kind of like a dumber person. I think the humor in that is hilarious.
And I think that it's kind of like Bautista as Drax and Guardians. Like people think it's real easy to play the dumb person,
right?
But it actually takes an incredible amount of intelligence to know how to do it right.
I would agree.
So,
I'm full good sport.
Like, that's why I love cracking jokes with you at work
because it's
you know how to keep up with it. Yeah. So, all right, okay, we're just gonna
tuning down a little bit now.
Yeah, that one at least, yeah. But I'm kind of excited for Wing 7.
Yes, this one is supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, but we're starting to see we're starting to see where this is going.
Yeah, this is still not like even near the hottest thing I've eaten.
Okay, that's one of the hotter things I've eaten.
It's definitely up there.
I've just not ate a lot of hot things. And it's been a while since I've tried to eat something hot. Like I think one of the hotter things I've had was when I was younger. So I don't even remember how hot it was. I just remember
right.
Hot. So, all right.
Cosmic Disco,
which is an amazing name.
Yes.
I just love the name, which is part of the reason why I'm excited for it. I don't even know how good it is. We'll see.
Yeah. That's pretty hot.
I was trying to focus more on the taste of it, because I haven't really noticed how hot it was yet. Taste-wise, see, like, I just have such a bad palate, because I'm such a picky eater, that, like, I'm trying to pick up on accents, and I'm like, I have no idea. Oh, especially now. Now it's just like, it's all hot. That's what it is.
Hot. I'm getting notes of heat in this.
A little bit of spice. All right. Woo. Number 7. If money was no issue, how would you spend your life?
Oh, boy.
Aren't you glad I suggested we put the napkins there?
Yes, and 2 waters.
All right, we're not finishing that wing.
I told you it was hot.
Oh.
So if money was no issue, how would you spend your life? Well, oh my God. That one is so hot.
Oh.
I would spend so much time, I think, with friends and family and just seeing the world. I would love to go to Europe. It's a place I've always wanted to visit. Yeah. Especially see some of the more ancient sites like in Italy.
It's like breathing
Rome.
out.
Just I feel like a dragon.
I don't want to breathe.
Just don't breathe.
But yeah.
I would love to travel. Love to spend travel with friends. It sounds like so much fun.
Oh yeah.
I've never done that.
Yeah, I'd agree on most things. I feel like, again, humans are pretty similar, so we have pretty similar wants for spending time together. I gotta be careful because I don't want to get anything into my nose. But yeah, I would agree for the most part. I definitely would the traveling part, but my traveling is more I reached a point in life where I've really started to connect with nature more. Mm-hmm. So it'll be more natural wonders instead of. I mean, I would still want to see some cities and stuff. I just want to see the whole freaking world.
I know,
but just any experiences, which I already kind of lived like that. Honestly, I've kind of taken on this philosophy of not caring as much about money because money just kind of comes and goes.
Right.
Even when you spend your entire life working to get money, when you become rich in order to do these things, you're so focused on the money that you're constantly worried about losing that money. So, you don't actually enjoy the time.
Right.
You're spending all your time making this money, and then you're still probably going to lose it by some freak circumstance. Or even if you don't lose it, you're so focused on keeping it that you don't do anything. So, yeah, I already kind of try to live like money isn't an issue.
Right.
Sometimes it's still I look at my bank account and be like, this is an interesting life you're choosing here, Alex.
Yeah.
You're making some decisions that you might regret later, but just kind of bank that at some point, either the money will get so good that you won't have to worry about it. It'll take away everything.
Right.
Or you don't make the money, and guess what? Then it doesn't matter because you're so in debt that money doesn't matter anyways because you're living based off survival, not on money. Money's just kind of an illusion. So, but yeah, creating things is another thing that I'd like to spend my life doing. So,
right.
Yeah. All right. We ready for the 8th one? I'm sweating a lot. I'm not a sweaty person.
I noticed you were sweating pretty early on, too.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to eat this. This is about where the hottest thing I've eaten is.
Okay. So, even were you talking about that
lobster roll?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you thought this was the ending wasn't even going to reach that level.
Oh, no.
I can't believe you thought that. But you know what? That makes me feel good because that makes me know that I'm hanging with the hottest thing you've eaten. I mean, it was tough. I feel like the overreaction of moving kind of helps. So I'm not trying to hold it in and be right. Act tough, don't move. No, we need it. All right, here we go. Wing number 8.
The bomb.
Okay, this is the bomb. I was
Yes.
like, this is the bomb, right? 'Cause I was looking at the question. I was like, I put this question for the bomb. Okay. Do we want to
Do not touch your face after this one.
do you want to touch touch wings? Let's touch
my my flat.
Yeah. I'll touch your flat if you touch my drum. Okay. That was a weird moment.
Yes.
All right, the bomb. I'm not even going to bother trying to clean clean that. Oh, yeah. No, that sucks.
Oh,
That doesn't taste good at all.
no. Oh, that just doesn't. That's just a bad tasting hot sauce.
Yeah. Oh, ho, ho.
And it's really hot.
Okay. I'm going to get this question out. I'm just let it float out there.
Yeah. Let us marinate in this question.
Oh, does death scare you?
This wing does.
We might die now, so. I just kind of want to feel. I don't want to feel, but I also do want to feel because I'm never going to eat this ever again. Like Sean. He's done this so many times. He's probably I don't want to feel this at all. But me, I'm never going to be back here.
Yeah.
What's there to lose?
And see, we got some of these sauces from a friend. I'm passing these to someone else. This is like, I'm never eating this again. Someone else can taste the.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
You know, this kind of feeds into the question, though. You know, whether or not death scares me. Like, from a human perspective, you know, just being a human, obviously, like, I don't want to die at the moment.
Yeah.
You know. But acknowledging that we're all going to die, like, you can't avoid it. All right? Like, that's the thing that I think because we don't want to die, we try to avoid death. So we act like it won't happen. And so we avoid things in the present for fear of dying or in the hopes that we'll do it later.
Right.
But like this moment is going to die. You know, even though it sucks, at some point it's going to end. So why not just enjoy it now in the moment? Honestly, like it's bad, but it's not. Like,
I know, like, God, I know it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad.
it's like bad, but I'm not like fully conscious of how bad it is. It's just like my body's like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. I'm just kind of like, is it? I don't really feel anything right now. I'm just numb.
I gotta be honest, I wish I got more wings because I'm gonna be hungry after this for something that isn't hot.
What about you? Does that scare you? Because for me, basically sum it up as I'm not scared by death. They kind of can be like a rejuvenating, when you think on it, it can kind of like make you want to live your life. And also like, it just doesn't taste good. Oh, it's so bad.
I don't know, I'm not scared of death, but at the same time, like I've never faced a like scenario where I've almost died, or like I've been like, holy shit, like I could die doing this. So I've never had to face that fear of like death in the face.
I did at a young age. Mm-hmm. I was in like only like third grade, I think. On appendicitis.
Which were you fully aware at the time? Like this is like super bad. Like
I didn't know anything about appendicitis. I didn't know that I had appendicitis. Neither did my parents. I just knew something was really wrong. I don't remember it being days. My parents tell me it was days because I only remember snippets. The rest is from my parents. Woo! But I remember the day that my mom ended up taking me to the hospital. I was trying to get ready for school. And I was just on the couch, just bent over. Could not move, do anything. Just completely in pain. I don't remember what the pain felt like. I just knew I was in immense pain. And it was so bad that my little kid brain was like, I need to pray to God to not die. Like, that's how bad it was. Like,
Wow.
I was praying to not die. And I was like, please, God, like, don't let me die. I'm in third grade. And I'm like,
Jesus.
please, don't let me die. My mom knew it was so bad. She was like, no, I got to take him to the hospital. Like, it's bad. Takes me to the hospital. The doctor's like, pretty sure this is appendicitis. At this point, they don't think it's burst. They just know that I have to go into surgery to get it removed before it does burst. My dad's like joking about like, oh, like we'll get it put in a jar for you. And like, you know, you have it to see afterwards. And I remember going under for the procedure and having anesthesia because it's the only time I've ever been put under. And then like waking up after, and like immediately asking my dad like, hey, like where's it at? Like I know you're gonna do it. Like where's the appendix at? Where's the jar? And they're like, well, actually, I don't know if it was my parents or the doctor that explained it to me. But they were like, well, actually, your appendix did burst, which, you know, should have killed you because it sends poison into your bloodstream. But for whatever reason, your waist muscles like encapsulated the blast so that it wouldn't enter your bloodstream, which was also why I was doubled over in so much pain. Said all my waist muscles were focused on containing this blast. So they just went in and, you know, cleaned things up, got everything out, and it kind of sucked afterwards. But, you know, could have died there
Right.
at a very young age. And the fact that, like, I prayed to God to not die, and then, like, this miraculous thing happens, you know, that's part of the reason why, like, I feel like I have to believe in something a little bit above myself because that happened.
Right.
So, yeah, you know, but when it comes to death, even if, because I don't necessarily believe in, like, heaven, like, rigid, like, Christianity type heaven, and stuff. And I don't believe in the Christian God or like that type of thing. It's more, I'm more spiritual than that. It's more ethereal and loose. When it comes to death, I don't necessarily need to know that there's for sure like a conscious afterlife. Like I have my thoughts about consciousness, and like the idea of it being kind of like the same as matter, where you can't destroy or create. It's just a thing that, so like we're just kind of like borrowing consciousness, and then it like feeds back into like the universe in a way. Like there's a well of consciousness, and that's why we kind of have like this connection with all of humanity, going back and stuff. Like if you start looking into like Carl Jung or Jung, whether way, and like his theories on psychology and stuff, he had a big emphasis on symbols throughout all of time in humanity, and like how, you know, more prehistoric humans, they were more in touch with that stuff. Like they believed in it more, and like now we've kind of lost that. But like if you, in your dreams, or even just walking out and about, like these things still kind of show up, or in our stories and movies and stuff when we create. Like the symbols are still there. So that kind of like feeds into this consciousness idea. But even from a scientific perspective, your body's going to break down back into the world. Like you were already created by matter,
right,
of other things and stuff. You know, all the pieces that it takes to create you. And that was something else before you, you know, and it will be something after you. And so in that way, you kind of live on in various different pieces of matter or atoms that go into other things, and then those things are living and stuff. And so in that way, I think that death is kind of like a stage more than anything, because if you take like this piece of wood here, this table, you would think, you would consider it dead. Like this isn't living right now. You burn it, it becomes ash. Blow that ash, goes out into the world, gets sucked up and to whatever plant needs it for fertilizer or whatever. And then that becomes a living thing. All those atoms feed into it, and it becomes living again. So in that way, does it ever really die?
Right.
If it can just be used to create life later. Yeah, those are just kind of the things. And like knowing just that, and that, just the fact that I can't fully explain that, or even a scientist can't fully explain that, makes me think that, like, you know what? It's kind of cool to think of death because it's a mystery. And, you know, once we get there, let's see what happens type thing.
Right.
So it took a long time on that. The bomb is kind of away now.
I know.
So,
Yeah. I've never been to the hospital for anything. I've never had any issues. I've just have lived such a
good for you.
Simple, like, yeah.
I've had other near-death experiences too, but that was the most vivid. The other ones were like such like quick pace type things where like I almost got in a car accident.
I don't even consider those because people are such idiots that happens so often to where it's like
I've had some.
I never
like,
even think about those.
Like one was like so close. If my one friend wouldn't have been able to swerve out of the way, like I would not be here. Because that was going to be a T-bone right into my door. But anyways, let's move on to wing number 9. We're almost done. This feels like it went way quicker than I thought.
I know. I feel like it cools down, which I hate because then I eat another wing and it ramps way back up again.
Yeah. But I took a long time on that question. So we're on
unique garlic,
which I'm interested. I love garlic.
I love garlic.
So I'm ready. I do kind of like the taste on that. I can't really taste too much. You know, a lot of it's just heat.
Yeah.
At this point, my mouth is a graveyard. But it's got...
Are you taking another bite? Okay. I was like, I'll take another bite. You take another bite, but...
At first, I was like, okay. No. You want to ask a question?
Yeah. Have you ever had a real low point? And if so, how did you come back from that low point?
Yeah. You want me to answer first?
I can take this first while you cool down. This one's not affecting me as much. I think my body's like, yeah, we're shutting down. we're gonna be done. I had a massive like depression spiral.
I think most people do.
A few years ago, and I got like really bad.
How old would you have been?
I would have been
19,
19, something like that, maybe.
Okay.
19, 20. It was like in the midst of some things happening in my life. And so I got like super low to the point where like, you get pretty damn far. And then I got really lucky that I have this really tight-knit friend group, which is almost just more like siblings to me. I had this great support system through them that kind of helped kind of slowly bring me back to, like, I've never been the same since, like, I'm a different person since before I went through all of that. But I've come back, I feel like, a lot better of a person, even more mature than I was before that. And I was just very lucky to have a support system that got me back from that low point.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's funny that it's kind of like around age 19, because I feel like the lowest point in my life was around that same age. And I would bet, just from talking to people and stuff, I feel like that's kind of like that age type thing. Not that it's not prevalent in other parts of life.
Right.
Like, things happen. I mean, I still go through rough periods.
Yeah.
But that was by far the lowest, like the most, like, considering suicide type thing.
Yeah.
You know? And the point where it would have been the most real for me to have done something like that. Whew. This is hot.
Yeah.
You're handling it much better than I am.
I'm kind of surprised.
Which I felt like I handled the bomb a little bit better. I don't know. I was kind of in it, though, so I wasn't really paying attention to it.
Dude, at the beginning of the bomb, I couldn't hear a word you were saying.
I was, like, struggling to say things. But, yeah, no. You know, at the end of high school, I had, like, my first ever relationship where I was, like, trying to take it seriously. So I had, like, an elementary school girlfriend. But outside of that, my romantic life wasn't, like, nothing much was happening. But then I got a girlfriend in senior year of high school. And that kind of fell apart all of a sudden.
Don't worry about it. Don't even look at it. Just don't even look at it.
That kind of fell apart all suddenly, like, so quickly. You know, of course, I was, like, distraught because I got, like, so invested into that. Mm-hmm. Like, I had such high hopes and stuff, and that feeds into a bunch of psychology type stuff. But then I realized, like, coming down off of it, like, hey, I'm leaving high school, and I got to get, like, college around. And, like, I had only just taken my first ACT and hadn't looked at colleges at all. Hadn't visited any campuses. Had to figure out money situation because I knew my parents weren't going to be able to help me. And on top of this, I'm going through, like, a severe depression from breaking up. You know, that was low. And then, like, I got through it enough to get, like, college around. I was just like, you know, I'm going to commute. Didn't visit a campus. I just went to a college that I knew I could commute to. And then, like, during that first year of college, like, the experience of, I didn't go to college with any of my friends. I was commuting. I moved out to live with my grandma. I was still working at Arby's. And, like, it was just a weird period where, like, I was trying to get into the university life and make friends for the first time in a long time, because most of my friends were, like, I'd made way earlier in life and just kind of held them. And it was like, oh, and I wasn't living with my family, so it was like, I'm on my own now, even though I still have my grandma with support, and I was still working with the same people and stuff. But, like, just going through all that, like, it had such highs and lows. Like, it was such a fun time.
Right.
In some extent, because I had so these new experiences, like making friends and stuff, and I made some friends that I've had that are, like, some of the best friends that I've ever made and stuff. But at one point, just, like, I was still going through, like, what do I want to do in life? What am I doing at, like, college? Like, what I had thought I wanted to do, sports journalism, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to do. And just, like, oh my God, like, I'm responsible for my life type thing. So yeah, you get all pinned up in these emotions, and, like, I was still connected to, like, the idea of getting back together with my ex-girlfriend, and then we did have, like, a little fling thing, and just throughout all that period, my mental state was terrible. And I went to journaling at one point. That helped a lot. Even though it kind of, like, it helps and it hurts, because then, like, I have, like, I'm writing out terrible things that I'm talking to myself,
right,
that I'm saying to myself. Like, it helps to get it out, but also kind of delves me further into it, because then I'm just, like, on a roll. But the whole time, there's just this piece of me. I wasn't conscious at all, and I actually kind of hated it, because I was like, go away. Like, I just, let me do this thing that wouldn't let me hurt myself in a way that would have been, suicide, basically. Like it wouldn't let me kill myself type stuff. So anyways, this thing wouldn't let me do it, even though like I kind of wanted to. So it was like this weird torture of like, let me do this thing, but like it wouldn't let me. Of course, now I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Because I've lived so much and like had so much life since then. And it's always kind of been that way. And that's why like, even though I'll get like depressed and stuff, I always know I'm going to make it through it.
Right.
It's like, if I can make it through that, I can make it through this. But yeah, still rough points. You just kind of ride through them.
I have found that like living alone, just having alone time helps me so much.
See, when I first moved into my apartment by myself, I had a real rough time.
I had the opposite. When I first moved in, that's one of the happiest I've been like for like a long stretch without having like any depression bout. I loved it.
You also didn't move very far. Like when
Yeah.
I lived on my own for the first time, I had gone through so much so quickly just getting up to that point. And it just felt like so crazy and hectic. But yeah, I also feel another thing is talking about it, especially afterwards. Like I've gotten so used to talking about that stuff that it doesn't really bother me as much anymore. But you find out that almost everyone else has gone through something like that. And, where I used to be like tender and sensitive on the subject, now I'll talk about it openly because I know that the person across from me has probably gone through similar things. And if I talk about it openly, it makes it better for them. No. That's just kind of how things go.
Yeah.
So. All right, we're on the last swing. I'll tell you what, I'm very happy with how I've performed here today.
Yes.
I thought it'd be a lot worse. Like, even though it was bad, I never felt like I can't finish this.
Yeah, I didn't feel like,
Or regretted doing it.
No.
So, and also, it's kind of flown by. I'm kind of sad that it's already gone through this quick. I was expecting it to last a little bit longer.
I know, me too.
All right.
That feel good for you too?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't know. I'm not Sean. I don't know. Oh, that might. Oh my
Hey,
God.
I'll take that way. You know
you
what?
can take that one. That is a lot.
That's my bad.
That is so much. Oh. I kind of wanted to do it myself, but I didn't tell you, so it's not your fault.
Yeah, that's my bad.
All right. Dink?
Dink it and sink it.
All right. I don't know if I like that taste or not.
No.
Not sure. I don't know. It gets so hot.
I used the wrong hand. I'm an idiot.
It gets so hot here. Like, I don't taste them anymore. All right. So we're ending
Holy.
on a great question. What do you think the meaning of life is? Whew. Eat hot wings. That's what it is. And answer life's deepest questions. Whew. All right. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I go first.
Okay. Oh, you good?
That went down the wrong pipe.
You know what? I don't like the taste of that. I don't like the aftertaste anyways.
No, it's making my water taste awful. So the meaning of my life, at least, I have found is just spending as much time as I can with friends and family. It's just what I enjoy the most, really. And trying to live life to the fullest, but also like enjoying my alone time. Like, I love just spending time alone, maybe just enjoying a movie or a book or something. But I just love the spice of life, the variety, getting to do all different things. And we're just kind of close proximity to so many things kind of around us.
Oh, I had like a kick. Okay. Yeah. I vibe with that.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar. I feel like when it gets down to it, everybody's answer to this question is pretty similar.
Yeah. Because it just comes down to what you enjoy, and so many people enjoy similar things.
I think it's so funny that we constantly ask this question over and over and over, as if there's like a straight answer. Like, I think the meaning of life is to just live life. And you can think about answering this question the whole time, but if you ever expect to get an answer to this question, you're never going to. At least not while you're alive. I think the joy is trying to live your life, trying to answer that question.
Right.
Getting experiences. Like,
I think you find the answer probably once you've lived a full life and you're on your deathbed.
yeah, potentially. Or even then, you know, like, I think the meaning of life is living the life. Like, so you already have the answer. Like, you're doing the answer. Like, the thing that you are doing is the answer to the meaning of life. I don't know why we think that we just kind of like think that we need something more, which is part of the drive of living the life. So that kind of, it's like this paradoxical thing. We're like, we don't want an answer to the question, because if we have an answer to the question, there's no longer a meaning to living life. Like, there's no longer a reason to live. But in order to live, we need to pursue the answer. So it's weird. It's weird. But I don't get. I try not to get too caught up into it anymore, and you still do. You still get these periods where you get so caught up in your, like,
it's like, where is my life going?
Yeah, you get so caught up in things, and you're like trying to be this person and accomplish things that you think you need to, where it's like, why? You know, is that really going to make your life so much better?
Right.
Necessarily. Or not even that it won't, like, you know, setting goals and chasing after them. That's a good thing. It keeps you moving, keeps you going. But
you set a lot of goals in your life?
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily, I don't know, the way I set goals is kind of just like an at the moment type of thing. And sometimes I'll realize that a goal has lingered, and that's how I know that it's a good goal. But like, I don't buy into this. You have to set a list of goals, and no matter what, you have to hit those goals. I don't buy into that. I think that that's trying to force things, and you end up frustrating yourself. It's the same thing as what we were talking about with the the vacation type thing. Where like, the more you try to force things and think that you need to be a particular person, like, it's okay to think like, maybe I should strive to be this person. But if you're not that person, you're not that person. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I've always wanted to be a writer and like be known as like a fantastic writer and stuff, and potentially even live my life like that. But the more I try to write, the more I realize, like, hey, this does not come easy for me, at least writing novels and stuff.
Right.
And I think it's because I try to force it, and I'm trying to be a writer, where it's just like, writing is just something that I enjoy. And if it leads somewhere, it leads somewhere, but that's not the end goal. If I try to force myself to be like this writer who makes a lot of money and is really famous and his work's lasted forever and ever and ever, I'm going to hate my life, and it's probably not going to happen anyways. Because whether or not it happens comes down more to luck and circumstance than it does to the amount of effort you put in. There's a point where it's not that you don't work hard. It's that you don't force yourself to do the work if you're not willing to do the work, you know? Because even though you have bad days where you're feeling like lethargic and bad and you don't feel like doing it, like, there's still a piece of you that's like, you know, I'm not giving up on this. I'm just going through a rough patch.
Right.
But if you go through like a rough patch and you're like, I don't want to do this. Like, why am I doing this? I shouldn't do this. This is pointless and stuff. You probably shouldn't be doing that thing. You know? I don't know.
Especially if it's something that drives those rough patches.
Yeah. Like, if pursuing that is hurting you.
Yeah.
Then then it's probably not for you. It's like lifting weights and knowing your limits when lifting a weight. Like, there's a difference between good weightlifting and, you know, the good tearing and healing of your muscles and stuff, and going too hard and destroying your body because you do that, because you're going so hard and just wrecking your body, you know. And that's another thing with goals, is if you set a goal, even if you don't reach that goal, you've learned so much along the way, and then you heal from it, you take that loss, and then you set another goal and you try again. Because what matters isn't actually reaching the goal, it's the pursuit of the goal.
Right.
Sometimes you reach the goal, sometimes you don't. It's a tough thing to accept because we are a society that defines you based off your lists, what you can list out, your accomplishments and stuff. Life isn't that. That's superficial. So it's more about who you are as a person. Because no matter the circumstance, who you are as a person will shine through.
Right.
So that's what's the most important thing. But all right. Anything else you think we need to talk about here? Any other comments or questions on questions? I sound like a doctor. Any comments or questions about your diagnosis?
I don't know if I do. You have anything?
I don't know. This was different than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I was expecting. I don't know. I'm expecting a little bit more of like a physical. Like I feel like there's a physical or there definitely is
You feel like there might be a physical response? What?
It wasn't the physical response that I was looking after, but that kind of feeds back into the whole that's another reason why you don't force yourself on your goals, because the experience isn't necessarily what you envision. But it was still great. This is great. I have a feeling I'm gonna like it a lot more after the fact when I look back on it. I'm like, man, that was a crazy experience. Definitely happy that I was able to get through it. Proud of myself. All right. Well,
do you want to? I don't know if we have. Do you want to plug your collection?
My poetry collection?
Yeah.
I mean, I can. Yeah, sure. I did come out with self-published a poetry collection a little while back. It's been a little while now, but since Jack's prompted me, I guess I'll plug it. It's available on Amazon. It's about 5 or 6 years worth of work. Up in his poems up until the point that I published it. A lot of them, or not a lot of them. A few of them are from the time where I went through my rough patch, actually, because poetry was something that kind of helped get me through it. But then some of them weren't the greatest that I look back on. But whole thing, and a lot of the concepts that we've gone over are definitely in the poetry collection. That's just kind of stuff that I think about a lot. So, yeah, if you're interested in that type of stuff, it's also fun and whimsical. And my poetry is pretty easy breezy. So, yeah, check it out. It's called Life on the Frontier. It's available on Amazon.
Link will be in the description for that.
We'll put that in the description. Yeah, sure. Okay. Anything you want to plug? God. How you feeling, Jack?
I have a great mustache.
All right. I'm
starting to really feel in the mouth.
That's what she said. All right. I think this might be one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
I think, so.
Thanks for coming on the journey with us.
Yes. So never be forgotten. All right. Well, we'll see you next time, I guess. I don't know what I don't know what we're doing the next time, but it's not going to be this intense.
No, I know. This wasn't also like it's calming down already. I feel like.
Well, first off, I almost forgot. Like, what's our favorite? I think the classic's my favorite.
Mine is the Tropicante. I really like that.
Was pretty good. I really like the classic. Like,
yes,
you said
it was good.
I might take this home.
Yeah.
Okay. I might take this home, or at least order it myself. Where do we think, in rank with all the other challenges we've done, this ranks? Do you think
I think the period simulator was worse.
I do think the period simulator was worse.
So bad.
Which is saying something. Man, like, dude, ladies, respect.
Yeah, seriously.
I can't believe this.
I would rather eat the bomb again than ever put on those freaking Tia Thames unit things.
What about the 48-hour screenplay? What do we think?
That wasn't as bad, I feel like. But
yeah, that was a different pain.
That was a mental pain.
Whew. The worst part is when it kicks back up out of the
Yes.
All right. Cut.
We're done.